Welcome back to Press Review. Let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. From the UAE, the Khalij Times reports that Israeli police clashed with stone-throwing Palestinian protesters in the sensitive Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem ahead of parliamentary debate over sovereignty of the holy site. It also reports that Egypt's outgoing housing minister, Ibrahim Mahlab, has said that he has been asked to form a new government. Israel's Jerusalem Post reports that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that Israel had the right to protect its citizens when queried at a press conference about an alleged Israeli airstrike on the Syrian-Lebanese border the night before. It also reports that German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said that Germany opposes boycotts against Israel but finds it acceptable to label products produced in West Bank settlements. Iran's Tehran Times reports that India's oil imports from Iran more than doubled in January from a month earlier after sanctions on Tehran were eased due to an interim deal on its nuclear program. The paper also reports that the leader of the al-Qaeda-linked al-Nusra Front terrorist group, Abu Muhammad al-Golani, has threatened to escalate the war against radical militants of the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant if they don't stop fighting other groups in 5 days. Saudi Arabia's Arab News leads reporting that Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdulaziz Al-Sheikh has called upon Saudis to give their zakat to Syrian refugees as the kingdom marked Tuesday as a day to express solidarity with Syrian children hit by the civil war. It also reports that a criminal court in Riyadh has sentenced a Saudi militant for 18 years in jail for allegedly issuing fatwas against the government and helping people to reach war zones to take part in battles. Lebanon's Daily Star reports that Hezbollah has pledged to respond to an Israeli airstrike earlier this week that targeted a base on the Lebanon-Syria border in the group's first official confirmation of the attack. It also reports that Google Lebanon celebrated the birthday of pioneering Lebanese performer Hassan Alaeddin, known as Shushu, with a drawing of the actor, singer and comedian replacing the 2 O's in his name. Egypt Independent reports that unknown gunmen exploded the gas pipeline feeding Arish city and its industrial zone and the main pipeline of Jordan on Tuesday. As of Wednesday morning, the fire has not yet been contained. It also reports that Turkish Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan's office has said that voice recordings on YouTube purportedly of Erdogan telling his son to dispose of large sums of money on the day news broke of a graft inquiry into his government were fake and completely untrue. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from UK papers. The Guardian's Middle East section leads reporting that Zaha Hadid, the architect of Qatar's most distinguishable stadium for the 2022 World Cup, has defended her involvement in the project following the shocking number of migrant worker deaths in the Gulf states. Hadid, a prominent London-based Iraqi architect who has designed the Al Wakra Stadium in Qatar, said the migrant deaths were a serious problem, but it was a matter for the Qatari government. The Daily Telegraph's Middle East section continues its coverage on the Israeli airstrike on the Lebanese-Syrian border, saying that Hezbollah has said it will respond to the Israeli airstrike that hit one of its bases on the border with Syria. The group said it would retaliate at a time and place of its choosing. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East stories in international papers. Washington Post Middle East section reports that the US is shipping arms to Iraq to help its army fight a Sunni Islamist insurgency in Anbar province. But some Iraqi soldiers argue that basic planning and supplies are just as sorely needed. China Daily's Middle East section leads with Turkey, reporting that a leaked audio recording of Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan and his son allegedly discussing how to hide large sums of cash amid an ongoing graft probe has sent shockwaves through the country, with many Turks taking to the streets to stage protests demanding Erdogan's resignation. Thousands of people took to the streets in 11 cities of Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir, Antalya, Antakya, Samsun, Trabzon, Eskişehir, Kocaeli, Bursa and Kanakkale. And finally, the Times of India's top Middle East story reports that Syrians could soon overtake Afghans as the world's biggest refugee population, with their numbers expected to pass 4 million by the year's end. About one half of the refugees are children. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.